Hello everyone, welcome on in. It's a sad day. This is the final Betting Weekly game bet match of 2024. I know I can hear the tears, I can hear the cries, I can hear everyone. But also I can hear some sighs of relief from Leon C, where our senior ATP Tour handicapper Sean Calvert joins us.
Sighs of relief?
Well, your work is done, my friend. You've got too much to party. You can go out. You can go and celebrate. You're off to the Challenger event. You know. I would say you let your hair down, but I can't.
That's probably not relevant. But I may have to interject there because there's a problem.
What's happening?
There's a problem. They've cancelled the Challenger in Maspalomas. So
no.
I was just checking last night because I thought this is very quiet in terms of their website and stuff. I thought there's not much going on here. There's nothing on their website, so I thought I'd better go back to the ATP Challenger Tour website and see what's going on there. And there's just a big red line through the Maspalomas Challenger. So it's obviously cancelled. I don't know why. I can't tell you. Probably operational reasons, the same as Gijón, which I was also supposed to go to. So I'm racking up a bunch of empty flights here. With my name on it that nobody's going to be sitting in, unless I can convince Natasha that it's worth me going anyway, without the tournament being on.
I'm sure you can. You've had 11 months of stress. You know, you've been working hard every day, 3 times a week, doing these podcasts, the ups and downs. I'm sure Natasha will be very, very sympathetic for you going off. Well, hopefully Paula can be sympathetic and I'll join you. That'd be great, wouldn't it? Fantastic. We had some fun games.
I'd be happy with that. Yeah, I mean, I just thought I'd just check yesterday because I thought this is all very quiet and it's just cancelled. So I haven't told Natasha yet. Actually, she doesn't watch this show, so it doesn't matter. I can say what I like.
What?
She's not going to sit around watching this. So she doesn't know anything about tennis or betting. So it would all be she wouldn't understand any of it. So I haven't told her yet. So I'm just kind of debating. People can put in the comments whether they think I should tell her or not, or either I should just go and sort of claim that the tournament is still on and do something like that. I'm kind of veering towards maybe telling her at the last minute and then saying, I'd better go anyway, whatever. So, yeah, we'll watch this space. Not, see what's going on there. See what's happening. I'm not sure yet.
Well, I do think you should go. I think you should go and just recharge your batteries. Bit of sun before Christmas. I think you should go.
I think I should go.
But also,
I
think you should go.
There's bound to be a problem.
She wouldn't know. She doesn't know that the tournament's not on.
No, she doesn't. She doesn't.
Yes, just say you're covering the tournament.
I could say that, but it's. And she'd be asking me when I come back, how was it? Who was playing?
Well, just say that, there's a really good Ukrainian kid who's come out there. He's in. I've done this before. This is not my first rodeo.
This is on air, though, someone will probably know her, a friend of a friend or something, and then someone will end up messaging her on Instagram or something, and it'll kick off. That's what would happen to me. 100% that would happen.
No, I can't imagine. We can block anyone from Leon C watching this show for this particular last episode. Not going to miss out on much.
Yeah.
You get out there, but I can't believe it's gone. I can't believe it's gone.
This happens to me all the time.
That's incredible.
The last 2 tournaments.
So if you pay for the flight, you pay for the flights and everything.
Yeah.
You've got an accommodation.
Well, I could, and technically I could cancel the accommodation, but I've obviously already paid for the flights and airport, hotel, and parking and all that stuff. So.
Well, anyway, we thought we might have some extra content. We thought we might have something on the Challenger Tour. Hopefully you go out there. But there's massive opportunities to come. But anyway, this is our final show of the year. So it is a sort of a nostalgic one. Obviously, it's the last one. It's a bit of a sad day for us. Obviously, the year's been ups and downs. We want to end up on a big high. I know you've been working very hard on the channel and the travelling and all this kind of stuff. It's a
long year,
very, very
definitely.
long year.
Even for us.
It's a long year.
I know we're not playing, but we're still looking at tennis pretty much every day. So most days anyway. For 11 months. So it's it does get tiring. Yeah, I know we're not playing, but it's still mentally quite draining.
Yeah, but now a little bit of rest period. Whether you go to Maspalomas or not. Good luck, whatever you decide to do, and hopefully, anyone who knows Natasha, keep it to yourself.
Yeah, don't say anything.
Nobody knows. But our final show is looking at 2 matches for tomorrow at the ATP Tour Championships over in Turin. And as we know, this is not Sean's one of his favourite tournaments of 2024, and we come into a funny period of tournament, the final rubbers, which are really, really difficult to sort of gauge the motivation. Certain players need to win a certain amount of games to qualify. Other players, then you think they can drop their levels. There is so many conundrums and so many sort of eventualities of who's going to qualify and who's not going to qualify for the Tour Championships. And obviously the best place to go to is to the ATP Tour website, which will give you all the eventualities. There's so many of them, we can't really pack them into a 40-minute show. But in a sort of a condensed 2-minute version, Sean, I'm going to ask you, like, what is the state of play here in Turin, and where is the motivation, and what is there at stake for both of these matches we're going to discuss a little bit in a minute?
Well, I think Sinner's pretty much qualified. Whether he's first or second will depend on a number of complicated scenarios. De Minaur can still qualify, as I'll talk about in a minute with against Taylor Fritz. He needs a lot to go his way, but it's not that unlikely. I mean, for De Minaur's point of view, he needs Sinner to beat Medvedev 2-0, which is quite likely. And he's got to beat Fritz 2-0, and he's got to beat him reasonably well. Because if that scenario happens, then Medvedev, Fritz, and De Minaur will all be on 2-4 win-loss in terms of sets won and lost. So then it goes into games percentage won. So De Minaur's kind of down on that at the moment. So, but if De Minaur wins, like 6-2, 6-3 or something like that against Fritz, then I think he's in with a chance. Obviously, much depends then on what happens with Sinner and Medvedev. If Sinner wipes out Medvedev like 6-2, 6-1 or something like that, that then gives him a chance. So technically, it's all still to play for.
Yeah, all still to play for. There is 2 matches for tomorrow, and the first match we are going to discuss is that match involving Alex de Minaur up against Taylor Fritz. Now, if you look at the head-to-head record between the two, it's quite surprising, actually, because Alex de Minaur leads Taylor Fritz 6-3, which is a surprise to me. And if you look at their indoor form this year, Alex de Minaur is much the better player. He's played a lot more matches, 11-6 on the head-to-head record, on the year record indoors. Taylor Fritz has only won 2 from his 5 matches, and one of them was here this week. If you look at it, the last 2 matches Taylor Fritz has won, including a match in the United Cup. He won 6-4, 6-2. Toronto, he won 6-1 in the final set. Fritz won on Eastbourne in grass. But it's definitely de Minaur who's had the better of the matches between these 2 players. But yet he's a very, very big underdog. Minus 245 is the price for Taylor Fritz. Plus 195 is the price you're going to get for Alex de Minaur. The spread is 3.5 here, and the total is 22.5. Now, before I want to go into this match, I watched. I don't know if you saw it yesterday, and I mentioned it on Betting Weekly Live yesterday. There was an interview after the day's matches, the afternoon session, with Jamie Delgado, who is
I saw he was there. Yeah.
Grigor Dimitrov. Did you see the interview he gave?
Not that one. I saw him earlier, but not that one.
Well, he basically said that Grigor was hitting with Alex de Minaur in practice before the Medvedev match, and he more or less said that we know he's got a hip problem and we know he's recovering from a hip problem. He was saying that Alex de Minaur wasn't fit, and he was more or less implying that there was a chance that Dimitrov may play either replacement for de Minaur or replacement for Alcaraz. We know Alcaraz has taken part today and he's winning, but they were sticking around because they thought they may get an opportunity, and he was more or less saying that de Minaur was nowhere near 100% fit in the practice, just sort of things he could see from his match. Now, I don't know if that's going to influence the way you think this game, or I've thrown a spanner.
You have a bit, yeah.
Yeah, but that was what he was saying. So just bear that in mind. If you're better, listen, Sean's going to give you an analytical point of view and give you the reasons why. I'm just telling you from just a little bit of snippet that I saw on the interview after, that just made me think that de Minaur might not be fit. Now, apologies if I've thrown a spanner, but over to you, Mr. Calvert.
Yeah, it makes it more difficult for me now. Yeah, I did see Delgado talking about. He had a bit of a chat with Tim Henman or somebody talking about Dimitrov and going for nice, pleasant walks down by the river or something like that.
And facials.
Oh yeah, was it that interview? Maybe I didn't pick that last bit up then. I saw him talking about facials. I thought, what's going on there? Some in-joke, clearly. Shall I just talk about the conditions again first? Because we've got another opinion now.
100%, yes.
Remember all the conflicting opinions we had yesterday? Now got Andrei Rublev putting his 2 penneth in, and he says the court is slower than last year, but not much. There are not many rallies. Maybe 1 rally every 2 games. The rest is 1, 2 shots, serve, ace, ace. So that's totally conflicting to what Zverev said, who obviously played Rublev. And he said the court is very slow, too slow for an indoor hard court. So there you go.
Yeah, but wouldn't you expect a match against Zverev to be that whatever court you're playing? Rally, ace, rally.
I guess.
That's it seems a bit of a crazy thing to say, really.
Well, that's what he said. He just thinks it's slightly slower than last year, which is kind of what I concluded. The matches so far, apart from the one that's in play right now, it works out 74% first serve points won, which is a couple of percent down on last year. So, yeah, slightly slower conditions, I think, is the general consensus, even though we've had some quite wild differing opinions from the players. I mean, this match, de Minaur against Taylor Fritz, it's a horrible price on Taylor Fritz. I mean, if de Minaur you would have thought if he's not fit enough to play, why would he play the first two matches and then this one? It doesn't really make any sense. I mean, I'm guessing he's perhaps not 100% fit. If that was the case, then why? Unless it's a money thing and a ranking points thing, I just don't know why he would come here to play the 8 best players, the 7 other best players of the season, if he knows he's not fit enough to compete. He's just going to get beaten heavily every game. It doesn't really make any sense. It's a horrible price on Taylor Fritz. I'm just desperate to take it on. It's not good at all. I just can't see de Minaur handing this over to an opponent that he's beaten 6 times already. As I said, he needs to win this match in straight sets. He also needs Sinner to beat Medvedev 2-0, which is quite likely, I would suggest. So he's got a very clear, scenario in his mind. He's got to win convincingly, very convincingly, and that's probably helped him make up his mind how he's going to play. Right, I've got to come out and win this. No messing about. Got to come in and win it straight sets, convincingly. So the quote he said, I still have one match to play, and I'm going to give 150% again. Well, he would say that, wouldn't he? But I don't think he's done too much wrong. De Minaur in the 2 matches that he's played so far, he's come up against an informed Sinner. He started well in that one, de Minaur, and it was a break-up, and Sinner, turned it on. And then he got a fired-up Medvedev, who was obviously annoyed at himself, the way that he'd played and the way that he conducted himself in his opening match. And Medvedev's come out absolutely firing in his second match and beaten de Minaur in probably one of the best performances, if not the best performance of the season from Medvedev, in stark contrast to his previous one. Perhaps he isn't quite fully there physically after this hip problem, but I don't think he could have done a great deal more against Sinner and Medvedev than he did, really. It's been a very, very favourable head-to-head for de Minaur, who's not had any real problems with returning the Fritz serve. We know de Minaur's a great returner, great mover. As you said, it's 6-3 in terms of the head-to-heads to de Minaur, and the service points won and return points won totals of that 9-match series is 105-95 in favour of de Minaur. So it's been reasonably, not one-sided exactly, but he certainly had by far the better of things, de Minaur. De Minaur's actually won 1% more points on his first serve than Fritz has in this matchup, which is perhaps will come as a surprise to most people, with Fritz obviously being the much bigger server. But, it's actually de Minaur's first serve that's done slightly more damage. And he's won 10% more second serve points, which you perhaps would expect than Fritz. And he's also won 5% more on return, which you certainly would expect than Fritz. So there's nothing in their head-to-head series that would suggest that this has been a favourable or comfortable matchup for Taylor Fritz. The price is all about the scenario, isn't it? Most people think de Minaur's wrapped it up. Maybe he's not fit. Again, what you've said there with Delgado, that's perhaps played into it as well. But the betting underdog has won this matchup 6 times out of 9. So the bookies haven't got this one right very often at all. I can't see de Minaur wanting to leave here with 3 sort of straight sets losses on his record. He should fancy this if he's fit. I know Delgado's saying he isn't, but if he is, he should fancy this, unless he's already mentally checked out and sort of thought, well, I've done well to qualify. I'll take my money and I'll shuffle off for the winter. It is a gamble based on his interest levels and potentially his fitness levels. But if you think he's up for this, then plus 195 is an excellent price based on the matchup. Or if you want to go for the 2-0, which is essentially what he's got to do to qualify, that's a 5.3 plus 430 chance of Bet Rivers.
I'm looking at the last 4 times these two have played. The last 2 times they played, Alex de Minaur has won both of them.
Yeah.
And he started at plus 110.
Yep.
And the match before that, which was on grass, Alex de Minaur was minus 136.
Yep.
And the match before that, and he lost that one, so Fritz won that. So and then he started the match before that was plus 110 again. So Alex de Minaur has never been the price of plus 195 in this match.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's by far the biggest price he's ever been in this match.
Yeah. So as Sean has said there, you know, from a value point of view, that is the fact that what's been said and the injuries that de Minaur has had this year has been factored into this price. It's whether you believe it's been factored in too much or in fact it's been too little. And obviously that he needs to win on plus 195. And if you are going to play him on the money line at plus 195, the only way he's going to win is it qualifies to win 2-0. So if he goes 1-1, then a lot of spirit, a lot of fight is going to go out of him, isn't it? Really, he's going to think, well, I'm out. You know,
possibly. I mean, it's the adrenaline's pumping, and he's got that competitive spirit going. Yeah, quite possibly. But you never know.
Yeah, but I think you've got to bet the 2-0. I think you just got to take the 2-0 at plus 430. Much more than the plus 195 on the money line, because that's what he's here to do. He's here to win 2-0. If you fancy him to win, if he wins the first set, he knows he's got to win the second set and go through. If he loses the second set, he's out, and then that would the in-running price would massively favour Taylor Fritz going into a final set with no motivation for de Minaur. So 2-0 de Minaur to me here.
I think that's the bet.
430. It's a free hit. That's the hit. That's to me.
Yeah, I mean, it's a. You wouldn't normally, if all things being equal, these two are playing, on a reasonable paced hard court some other time in the season, a quarter final or something like that. You wouldn't get 5.3 about de Minaur winning it 2-0.
It'd be a pick and match, wouldn't it?
The way that Fritz has been playing, latterly make the US Open final, all that sort of stuff. You'd probably make him slight favourite. I mean, statistically, I don't think that's necessarily the case. I think de Minaur actually came in here with slightly better stats than Fritz. So yeah, I think you have to take a chance on the 5.3. I think that's the way to go. It could go spectacularly wrong. He could lose 6-2, 6-1. That's quite possible. If he's not fit, if he's not up for it. But if he wins that first set, I think you've got a chance there.
Yeah.
I think that's the best.
I do like the angle of 2-0 de Minaur. I think 2-0 de Minaur is a much better play than the money line at plus 195. I think I'll get to have a little bit on the plus 430 on the.
I think it's a good price. I mean, you have put me off a bit with this Delgado business, but
no, I'm not. I wouldn't know it. I'm just saying what, but it's factored into the price, isn't it? He's if this was a fit Alex de Minaur coming to this matchup, he's plus 110. He's now plus 195, so that's been completely factored into the price, and it's been factored into the 2-0. But what hasn't been factored into the 2-0 is Alex de Minaur needs to win 2-0
and comfortably. He's got to win.
Yeah,
you'd have to get the calculator out because he is quite down on the terms of percentage games won lost. He'd probably have to win quite significantly. I don't know how, but
if he won the first set and then lost the second set, I could see Taylor Fritz being about minus $4 going into the final set, because the whole market would think, well, de Minaur's out and Taylor Fritz has to win this set. So that's how the market works, and what it works on what people need to do, and that's what the public play wants to do. So yeah, I like the de Minaur 2-0 issue, and I do. I know there's doubts about it. I'm watching interviews, but when you're breaking it down and the fact he needs to win 2-0 and he's not playing that bad, I think 2-0 de Minaur.
It's a great matchup. Fritz's big serve it's not bothered de Minaur really. He's won a very healthy percentage of return points, so he should fancy this. If you come into a match, you've played a guy 9 times and you won 6 of them, including the last 2, incidentally. It's not like these are all historical. He's won the last couple of times they've played, so he should fancy it, unless he's so unfit. But with this hip thing, I don't see how he can be though, because he has played a lot of matches, on indoor hard. It's not like he's just come here a couple of matches on indoor hard and see what you can do. He's played a lot lately, so yeah, I don't mind taking a chance on that.
Yep. Is it going to be official play?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's worth it. It's either going to go very right or very wrong. So
But these are the kind of tournaments where you read it right. This is the kind of tournament when you have a read on something and players need to happen. They tend to happen in these kind of events where permutations need to be done and someone needs to win by a certain amount of games. People drop their levels. If you're going to have a kind of reasoning for someone winning 2 sets to love, this is the kind of tournament that happens in.
And it's the first match, isn't it? It's not like Sinner Medvedev will already have been played, and he could quite conceivably be already out. He's got a little sliver of a chance for me. He should be like Minaur should be looking at this, thinking, right, this is what I've got to do. Let's go out and see if I can do it.
So we're going to go for Alex de Minaur, 2 sets to love, plus 430. Going to go out in style. Come on, doesn't matter. Like the angle, I think the angle was absolutely fantastic. The price is a big price. We do know there's an injury doubt, but that's why you're getting plus 195 instead of plus 110. And we do think that plus 195 is a carrot that Bet Rivers are offering that we cannot resist. Remember, there is about 42 different markets available on the Bet Rivers website. Make sure you have a bet on that. You'll be able to bet live and watch. Bet live and watch live with Bet Rivers. You'll be able to watch this match on the comfort of your own home with your tablet or your mobile device watching this match as well. Keep subscribing to the channel, even though there's no tennis here on Betting Weekly Studios on YouTube. Give us a subscribe, give us a like, give us a comment, give us your best bets. Lots more content coming in the 2 months of the off-season as well. A lot of soccer coming up and really heating up with the Champions League and various different sporting action across Europe. Now we have another match we are going to discuss. It's Jannik Sinner. He is in action against Daniil Medvedev. Jannik Sinner is minus $5. He's obviously the Italian in Turin. Huge home support. 2 matches, 2 wins. Hasn't dropped a set. Daniil Medvedev, awful in his first round match against Taylor Fritz. Much improved against Alex de Minaur. He's plus 375. The spread is 4.5. The total here is 21.5. And this is probably one of the most interesting head-to-heads in tennis.
Yeah.
When these two first started, when he started on the scene, Medvedev just absolutely beat him every time. There's no doubt about it. Until about 2023, around about the time of Beijing in 2023, Sinner understood how to beat Medvedev, and he has had much of the better record. He's won 6 of the last 7 between these. The head-to-head stands at 7 wins apiece. So it's very funny. I'd said it was in the early days, Medvedev beats Sinner. Now Sinner beats Medvedev. He's minus $5. This is a real difficult one to have a view now on, Sean, isn't it? Because if de Minaur wins 2 sets to love, does that mean that Sinner's through, or does that mean that Medvedev then has to win? The Fritz de Minaur has a huge impact on this match, doesn't it?
Well, probably not for Sinner. I mean, Sinner will just come out and try and win, and he obviously wants to win the group. Medvedev will obviously have more of an interest in what happens with Fritz de Minaur. Yeah, but even so, if you're Medvedev, you've got a massive task on your hands anyway. I don't think it's really going to make it that much easier or harder. Ultimately, he's got to come out and try and beat Jannik Sinner, which is not very easy to do.
Just one thing: is there any probability that Sinner can be through before the Taylor Fritz de Minaur match? So
I don't know. I'd have to have a look on the scenarios page.
Well, that would have a huge impact on this match, because if there is a probability that Fritz or de Minaur were through, then
de Minaur
Sinner
definitely wouldn't be. He would have to rely on countback. He would have to rely on win percentage, games percentage win.
I think this is very, very hard to ascertain how this is going to go without seeing that first match, because there's got to be a permutation that
from Medvedev's point of view, I mean, it doesn't make any difference from Sinner. I mean, from Medvedev, if Medvedev's already out, obviously that's going to impact him. In that sense, you're right. So yes, it does make it difficult to bet. These last matches of the round robin are always tricky for that reason. But it was tricky. It's tricky anyway. I mean, if you look at Medvedev's last 2 performances, they're like night and day, aren't they? From Sunday to Tuesday. I mean, he didn't have much luck against Taylor Fritz, in fairness, but he didn't really help himself. 3 double faults in a row to concede the opening set. I'm talking about his shoulder again, and he keeps talking about it in a veiled way. I'm battling against this, and I can't. I'm hampered by that. And then he comes out and plays arguably his best match of the year a couple of days later. It makes it very tricky to bet on, doesn't it? He said after that match, he said, "Oh, I just came out swinging, and if I lost, I'm going home, and if I win, great." So that's the attitude that he had, and it seemed to pay off for him. As I said, he played great. But I mean, this is a big ask, as you said. This head-to-head. If you look at the last 12 months, not including that exhibition that they played recently, 5-1 to Sinner, service points won and return points won totals 108 to 92. Sinner winning 55% of his second serve points. Medvedev just 40%. So Sinner comfortably the better man from the back of the court. Sinner winning 79% of his first serve points. Medvedev, who is a very good returner, only winning 30.6% of return points. And this is the Sinner serve, which is, much better than it was when they played their first half a dozen matches. And the physicality factor as well with Sinner. Some of those matches he came into against Medvedev, I think one of them was in Miami, wasn't it? When he was barely fit at all. Much fitter and sort of stronger these days.
We bet him that year.
Yeah, I think
2023. He was in the final and he beat Alcaraz in the semi-final.
That's
in a real exhausting match.
And he was
Medvedev in the final. We were on.
Yeah, he was hobbling around all over the place, wasn't he? Sinner in the final. It looked like he was about to pass out. That was Medvedev's last win actually over Sinner. So it's all changed since then. If you look at the head-to-head of the first 6 matches, as you said, hugely overwhelming for Medvedev, 114 to 86 in terms of service points won and return points won total. Sinner only holding serve 66% of the time in those 6 matches. It's a seismic shift, isn't it, between 2020 and sort of April 2023 and the rest. So when they played quite recently in the exhibition, the Six Kings thing in Riyadh, Medvedev said, and I quote, he said, "I'd never played, in my opinion, against someone who played like Jannik did today. I couldn't do anything. I didn't know what to do." And just ahead of this tour finals, Medvedev said, "You need to play an inch-perfect match to beat Jannik. From start to finish, you need to be there. You need to make him tired physically and work him out." And it's not something Medvedev's been able to do, apart from at Wimbledon when I think Sinner was ill again, wasn't he? He had some sort of problem. I think it was sickness or something. Anyway, certainly wasn't at his best that day. The last 4 times they've met on a hard court, Sinner has won sets 6-love, 6-1, or 6-2 on 6 occasions. So he's really got Medvedev's number, in recent times. As far as a bet's concerned, I would only consider a big price, and I am tempted by 6-1 or 6-2 to Jannik Sinner here. They're 11.5 and 10 respectively. Or if you feel like this match is worth more of a circumspect play, then under 21.5 games is plus money, plus 104 Bet Rivers. But yeah, as you say, it's not the easiest of matches to bet on.
No, it's very difficult. It's very, very difficult. But Jannik Sinner is emerging as the number 1 tennis player in the world. His levels are much better than anyone else in the world, and he's minus $5 to win this match on the money line. Head across to the Bet Rivers website. Like I say, there's about 42 different markets, and you might want to take the 6-1, 6-2 in that first set. He has had the better, as Sean has just said there, of the recent meetings between the two. Medvedev certainly had the better in the early part, but Jannik Sinner's career has gone on a massive trajectory. Sean, no official blading on Sinner Medvedev, no?
No, I think it's very difficult to bet on that match given the unknowns that are surrounding it. But I would take the real big prices on the sale on the 6-1 or 6-2. I think that's probably worth a bit of pizza money if you're betting on this match. It's that's the value.
Well, interest on that, head across to the Bet Rivers website. Remember, if you do bet, you'll be able to watch as well. You can bet live and watch live on Bet Rivers. Keep subscribing. As I said, this is our last show of 2024, but the content here, the Betting Dojo, myself and Neil Channing, the Betting Weekly Premier League, Betting Weekly Extra Time, the soccer stuff is coming as well. And also, remember, every day, 11 o'clock Eastern Time, Betting Weekly Live. One of the handicapping team will be on giving you the best bets for that particular day. And they'll be joined by a host as well as all the best betting moves from the Bet Rivers headquarters, all the movers, all the shakers, where the big money is going. Minus 5.18 units on the year so far, but as Zverev winning this tournament will take that into profit, and that is what we're hoping to do. As you can see there from the graphic, you can see how the other shows are doing. But that's a wrap for 2024. Sean, before we rack off, I'd like to say thank you very much. It's been a pleasure coming on this show 3 times a week, talking tennis with you. I mean, this is our 3rd year we've done this, and the audience has grown and grown and grown. A lot of people have given their comments. A lot of people have bought into the concept that we're building here and what we're trying to achieve on the tennis. So thank you very much, not only to Sean for joining me, but also for all you subscribers, thousands of you subscribed, the people who've hit a like button, the people who've left a comment, the people who've left good comments, negative comments on our picks when we've gone up and down. And the only reason why we're behind on this year, the only reason why I know,
I know, yeah.
The only reason we're behind, I know, is because Bet Rivers were very shrewd on Stefanos Tsitsipas to win Monte Carlo.
Yeah.
That's the only reason we're behind this year.
The only reason, yeah. They went 16 to 1.
Only reason.
Everyone else was 30, well, between 28 and 35, yeah. So I can't put a bet up if it's not value, can I?
Exactly. And that's what makes us different from many other podcasts.
It.
We're not putting up bets here just to let you know what happened. But, Bet Rivers, shrewd operators for the reason why we are, because of curse you, Bet Rivers. We would have made us profit for the year.
There.
But listen, we've got to thank you as well for Bet Rivers for allowing us to do this, giving us the platform to come on here 3 times a week, talk tennis, even more in the majors, and also giving myself and Sean the platform to go across to these various tournaments across the ATP. It's a dream job for myself and Sean, and we're forever, ever grateful. I must admit, it's an amazing opportunity. But Sean will be going to Mas Palamas on his own with no tennis.
Well, we'll see.
In a couple of weeks' time.
We'll see.
That's it for the year. If you've got a comment, if you've got any bets you want to have, please share it with us. But again, thank you very much for joining us on this adventure. It's been another great year, ups and downs all the way. And we'll be back in the new year. So the first person I can say this to, Sean, have a very happy Christmas.
Oh, thank you. You too.
Thank you very much. Happy Christmas. And we'll see you all again in 2024 when we'll be back for the tournaments in Australia. In what? What is it now? 8 weeks?
Is it 8 weeks? 7, 6?
It's got to be 8 weeks. 7 weeks, 7, 6, 6. I don't know. Well, in a few weeks, we'll be back in Australia. Hopefully join us all again there. And again, thank you very much for all your support, all your encouragement, all your likes, and keep subscribing to the channel because the tennis might be stopping, but the winners will keep continuing. Take care.